I never mess with Wendigos. There's just not enough info out there about them yet, and I like to know what I'm up against. Just starting out as a monster hunter, I had to take any job that was offered. I didn't have a choice, and I didn't know any better. At this point in my career, though, I can be more discerning, and I've come up with a set of rules for which jobs to take and which ones to pass on. No Wendigos, obviously. No creatures that are half in and half out of the spirit world. No magic, no aliens, and no witches. Of course, there are exceptions to my rules. I've gone out on hunts thinking I was going after one thing to find out it was something else entirely. There's no way to control that aspect of the job. There will always be something unexpected that creeps up. The further I got into my career as a monster hunter, a secret level of hunting began to emerge. A dangerously tempting mix of treasure hunting and monster hunting was offered to me. Dean, another hunter I'd worked with for years on various missions, came to me with an enticing offer. Now, all creatures have a tendency to collect and hoard all kinds of things. The best known example of this would be the way that dragons collect vast treasures of gold. But it all depends on the creature. Giant spiders, they like to collect anything silver. Bigfoot and Yeti, they make rock piles out of rare minerals and crystals. Fishmen collect pearls and anything else that happens to sink to the ocean floor, and the list goes on. Dean had gotten wind of a giant spider nest situated in the lava tubes in the Nevada area. The spiders had been really active lately, sending out hordes of them to go search for food, and when they do that, they also tend to bring back some silver with their food. The plan was straightforward and simple. Hike out to the nest location, hide and wait for them to go out on one of their hunting parties, and then sneak in and grab the silver and head out. It all sounded good to me. I was more curious and excited to go out and see what this treasure hunting was all about, that it didn't take much convincing to get me on board. Dean had put together a 6-man team, each paired into smaller teams of 2. I was with him, Henry and Tom were on another team, and Freddie was supposed to be paired with Will, but Will was running late. Eventually he showed up to meet the rest of us. "Where have you been?" Straight away, Dean questioned him. "We have to get out there before sundown." "Sorry, I've been dealing with a Wendigo up north. You know how that goes," Will said. "I don't mess with Wendigo. No sane hunter does," I said. "Yeah, well, I do." Dean cut us off. "I don't care, we need to go. The 2 of you can chat about your likes and dislikes later." We hiked in a few hours past the main tourist entrance to the lava tubes. According to Dean's intel, there was a smaller opening farther down the tubes that the spiders had been using as their own personal entrance and exit. An hour into the hike, Will took a tumble, and when I went to go help him, I noticed his skin had gone cold, and his complexion was white as a sheet. "You okay?" I asked as I helped him to his feet. "Yeah, just dehydrated probably." "Alright, 'cause you kinda look like death." Dean stopped and was watching us. "All good?" he yelled out. I looked up at Will again. His eyes didn't seem to focus on me. He seemed to be thinking about something else, or like he was sleepwalking. "Are you good?" I asked him. "Yeah, I said I'm fine. I'll be right there. Just give me a minute, okay?" he snapped at me. I kept looking at him for a moment as he sat down and drank some water. "All good," I yelled back at Dean and went to go join him in the front of the line. Will collected himself and caught up with us eventually. When we got to the hidden entrance, the 6 of us split into our teams of 2 and took up observation posts surrounding the hole. I could barely tell where the hole was, just going off the vague direction that Dean pointed me in. This was the part of the job that really sucked for me, the waiting. We laid down and made ourselves at home while we just watched and waited for hours and hours into the night. It could be days till they decided to go out on a hunt again, and the 6 of us were stuck there until they did. Everything was going according to plan, though, until Freddie came over the comms with a worrying message. "Will's not doing so hot." "What's going on?" Dean asked. "It's not good. He won't stop." And then the comms went silent. Dean tried to raise him a couple times before telling Tom to move over to their position and check on him. We waited anxiously for Tom to report back about the situation. "Dean, you might want to see this." Tom's voice sent shivers up my arms. "What?" There's no one here, just gallons of blood everywhere. Dean ordered him to get back to his position. Wait, I see him, Tom broke in. There was a pause. That's not him, is it? The comms started to key in and out, and we only got pieces after that. Red eyes. Arms. Need. And then nothing. I'll be right there. But before Dean could even get up off the ground, we heard gunshots ring out from where Tom was. A flurry of shots echoed out into the open. There was no doubt that would solicit some type of reaction from the spiders. We had to go right then and there. Dean gave the order to abort and meet at the rally point. The two of us took off into the darkness, leaving behind anything we could do without. Speed and survival was all that mattered. Running top speed in the dark is hard enough without a pack on your back. Dean and I were the first two back at the rally point. Henry came in not too long after us, but there was no sign of Tom, nor could we raise him on the comms. I'll be the one to say it. Tom's gone. And I would put money down that Will's turned into a Wendigo. We need to leave them there. They're grown men. If they're still alive, they'll be able to find their way home on their own. I spouted out. Dean looked at me, then back into the darkness, then over to Henry. We were all silent, listening for any noises coming towards us out of the valley. You're probably right, he said. We should keep going. Three of us continued on past the rally point and back to the trucks, leaving the others and the silver behind. The treasure is still up there, only now there's most likely a few Wendigo up there too, making it off limits for me because, as I said earlier, I never mess with Wendigo.